So Alibaba just did something that's making a lot of people in the AI world very uncomfortable. At WAIC 2026, the World AI Conference in Shanghai, the Qwen team previewed Qwen 3.8 Max, 2.4 trillion parameters, multimodal, text, images, video, documents. And here's the headline that's making everyone lean in. They're claiming this model can do autonomous coding for over 10 days, self-evolving development from an empty folder to production code, no human hand-holding. They even posted the full project trace on GitHub now. Hold on, because that's a massive claim, and we need to look at this carefully. Here's what we actually know. Qwen 3.8 Max uses a sparse mixture of experts architecture at 4 trillion total parameters. It's designed specifically for coding, full-stack development, data analysis, and what they're calling CowWork, basically agentic workflows, where the model browses, uses tools, and writes code bases on its own. Alibaba themselves said it's second only to Anthropic's Fable 5, which is a pretty bold thing to say about your own model. But here's the part that's genuinely interesting. The open weights are coming next week. That means anyone, startups, enterprises, independent researchers can download this model and run it on their own infrastructure. That's a fundamentally different value proposition from the closed models offered by OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. Think of it like a group project where the closed labs show you the final PowerPoint, but Alibaba hands you the full design document and the source code. That changes the economics of AI in ways that go far beyond benchmark scores. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, benchmarks. As of the most recent reporting, and I checked multiple sources on this, Alibaba has not published independent benchmark results. Multiple outlets have flagged this. The model is currently available as a preview through Alibaba's Token Plan, Coder, and Coder Work platforms, but several AI analysts have pointed out that you can't really verify a model's capabilities without public reproducible benchmarks. So when people say it's outright beating Western models, let's pump the brakes. That's a claim, not a confirmed fact. What's not in dispute is the architecture and the scale. 2, 4 trillion parameters and a mixture of experts setup is serious engineering. And the autonomous coding demos, where the model supposedly browses, uses tools, and builds code bases without human intervention, those are documented on GitHub so developers can actually inspect the project traces themselves. So why does this whole situation feel like an earthquake even before the benchmarks come in? 3 reasons. First, the open weights strategy. Each time a Chinese lab releases open weights that approach frontier-level performance, it pulls developers away from the closed ecosystems. That shift happened with previous Qwen releases, DeepSeek and Moonshot's Kimi K3, which launched just days before this announcement. There's a pattern here. Second, enterprise economics. A model that can autonomously write and deploy code for days at a time doesn't just speed things up, it restructures what a software team even looks like. If the autonomous coding claims hold up, it changes the cost structure of building software in ways stakeholders cannot ignore. Third, geopolitics. The dominant narrative has been the U.S. leads, China follows. But these releases are making that narrative harder to sustain with a straight face. The gap is narrowing in a way that's visible to anyone paying attention. Now, to be clear, there are open questions. When exactly do the weights drop? Will the near-frontier claims hold up under independent testing? And the autonomous 10-day coding demos, that's genuinely impressive if verified, and genuinely hard to verify without reproducing it yourself. But even with all those caveats, here's what's real. Alibaba is shipping. They've been shipping consistently. And they're shipping models with open weights at a scale that Western labs have largely avoided. The interesting part isn't whether Qwen 3.8 Max is definitively the best model on Earth right now. That's a question benchmarks will answer soon. The interesting part is how fast the center of gravity in AI is shifting and how open weight releases keep forcing the conversation forward. Silicon Valley used to define the pace. Now they might be the ones catching up. Strong opinions on all sides. The next few weeks, when the weights drop and independent tests come in, will tell us much more. What do you think? Does open weights at this scale change the game, or is this all just preview hype? Drop your take in the comments.